So I have logged into Career Site Builder. Okay, so the first few things that we saw is the site integrations. All right. So what I figured out from is also that the server that we have procured for this particular training is a demo server. Okay, and then we had to do certain configurations in order to make it available as a website. So that was missing till last week, right? So right now I have worked on a couple of things, which I'm also going to show you, which is a part of the training as well. Okay, so we had talked about the site integrations. Just to touch upon it, this is the company ID, which is a unique identifier for all the company instances. It can be test system or the production system. We will have a similar company ID given to almost every customer. So as it is a demo instance, it is with this format. Usually if it's a customer, if it's Google, for example, it will be like this, Google T1. If it's a development side, it would be D. And if it's a production, it might be P or without P. So this is the nomenclature. Usually that is going to be here. Okay, and then we are going to connect with the test system server if it is in the preview system. And we are going to connect with the production server if it is a production environment. So basically what I'm trying to say is when we have this instance, if I go to my SuccessFactors system and click on show version information, so this is what I'm going to get it as a company ID. So the same should be linked with this particular recruiting marketing site, which is the site ID and a unique one. So basically this is the linkage on how to do it. So the same company ID that we see here and here will be available also with the customer when they procure it from the SAP team members. Okay, so this is one of the basics thing. Next, in the deployment data center, what does this mean is which data center are we going to connect this particular recruiting marketing site to? Okay, so for every site, we will have the instance ID and also the site ID, which is here. Okay, so these two things will be given by SAP to the customer. And from there, we take it and raise a request to SAP, which we talked about it a few days earlier, where we go to a portal, upload our approval email, and then we get the access. So once everything is done, we establish the connection between the recruiting instance and the marketing instance. So right now we have done that. The company ID will be there. We have selected the data center accordingly. Okay, so whatever instance that the customer is going to procure, so the options will be limited over here, and we have to connect with that particular data center itself. Okay, so that the connection establishes. So next is the single sign-on security key. So we are going to generate this one and put it in provisioning in one place so that, we have that, record saved so that it acts as a unique key or a password to connect both of the instances. So using this one, we are connecting to the right data center of the instance of SuccessFactors instance. Using this particular single security key, sign-on security key, we are connecting with the backend of SuccessFactors system. So when I say the backend, the provisioning system. Okay. So these are the few things which we covered. All right. And then when we go to the site information, so we will have the same thing, which is site name. So by default, it will be like site name as this one, but we can put it to whatever name that we want. Okay. Because that is how it is going to be shown also on the website. So this is the company name. So I have right now put as a training company, which means it's like we are just doing the training. So we have put it as training company. In the real case scenario, we will have it as the customer's name. Okay. So in the site URL, when SAP gives it, it will be usually like this part will not be updated as SAP demo jobs. Only this will be there. And usually if it is a test system, we will have it looking like this. I will show you another instance. Okay. It's just still loading. Let me just log in once again. So this will have, okay. But what I was trying to say is, usually the site URL looks like this. Let me show you here. It will be like, this is the customer's name. Okay. T1, which is for test system. And this is a normal nomenclature, which is well.stage.jobs2web.com, because this is coming from Jobs2Web and the team who developed was Jobs2Web also. So that is the reason. Keep working. And when it's a test system, it will be like this. But when it is a production system, we can choose on whatever name that we want. For example, careers.thecustomer.com or .edu.sa. Okay. And then gft.com, for example, this is one of the website. So this is how we are going to select as a production site. So for this, there is a procedure which we will also talk about it a little later. Okay, so far we have covered this many things, like in terms of connection. So earlier when we used to click on go or go to this website, it was not possible because the data center was wrong and the site integration was not built. But now we have tried to establish the connection. So when I click on go or copy paste this link, it should at least give me a blank page, okay, which will confirm that this is going to be a URL for our training. So this is the company ID followed by SAP because this is a test system, a kind of a demo instance. So once we start building our page, all images, font, colors will start appearing here. And at the same time, when I click on sign in as a candidate, it will take me to the career site. Okay, if you see this, it's saying career D2 SuccessFactors. So this is, the linkage which was done in the backend. Okay, so it's just taking me over there. So in which the instance might have been linked here. So hence it is taking me here. We will talk about it. Okay, so this is our URL that we are going to work on, and we will have images, etc. So in addition to this, what we did is we went to the home page. We went to the different category of the pages. Before we go to the pages, we also need to understand how many brands are we going to create for this customer. So brand is nothing but a sub-site or micro-site which is used within the main page of the corporate website, or it can be used per department, per country, and depending upon the customer's requirement. So we did create a couple of brands, just as a testing purpose to identify what is the difference looking like. So if you're going to use the brand concept, the system will behave slightly in a different way, wherein you can have your own pages created in each brand. Okay, so these are the brands. One is Western SAP default. This is some brand, all of this. Okay, so let's not talk about it in detail, but we create the brand to make sure we create sub-sites for the customer. So once we create it, the same options are available for me under all the pages. So like we know, we have the different pages. One is the home, content, category, and landing. So under home page, so this is where I can start uploading content with respect to the home page components. So in each language, I can have multiple brands. If it's the other way around, I will just go to the languages and enable certain languages so that in each language, I will have pages. So let me show you this example in which they have one global site. They're not going to use any, different sites as a brand. But here, when I click on country and go to another country, okay, so they have created a page, which is a category page. So which will take me to the German page. And this page is translated in German language. So when I click on search, I get the jobs, which is a list. So similarly, when I go back to the language and select UK, it is English, right? So it will go to the page of category UK, and then it's going to show me the job openings under UK. So this can be used in different ways. If I'm going to use different brands and different languages also, then you will have English US, and below that you will have English UK. And maybe if you have 3-4 languages, you will have Arabic, Chinese, Spanish, etc. Within all the languages, you might also have multiple brands, okay, which means this is acting as one website. So if this is the case of the customer, then the efforts will be multiplied accordingly. So let's assume that the entire RMK implementation for creating a website and making it live and doing all the linkage will take somewhere between 12 to 16 weeks. This is the typical timeline. So if you have multiple brands, the scoping should be done in such a way that each page should be at least given 2 to 3 days of effort. So in short, per brand configuration will be 10 days. And if you have like 4 brands, you will increase it by 40 man days. Okay. And per language will easily take 5 days. So if you have multiple languages, you increase that number into 5 days. So putting together, you will prepare a project timeline and submit it to the customer if it in the proposal. So hence, these languages and brands are slightly important, because what we are trying to do is we create a language and create one page over here by adding all the components. Now let's assume that I create a page with large image and subscribe form, search, and 3 column. Okay, so these came here, although I have not put any content over here, but I've just created. The same thing, I have to do it in this particular brand because right now it's empty. So if I want to duplicate this, it will take time, right? So hence we estimate it accordingly. The other option is, what we can do is we have an option to duplicate this page. Okay, when I click on duplicate, it's going to ask me under which brand do you want to put it. Okay, I will put it as under RMK and click on save. So the same page that we created with the components might be available there in RMK also. Okay, the brand name is RMK. So these are the couple of options. But again, when we are talking about only one language, it is not an issue. But if we are talking about multiple languages like this customer, so we have to be cautious because each page that we are going to work on should be translated into their own languages, right? So hence the effort estimation should be done in the right way. Okay. So this is the basics that we were talking about. And we also talked about the sample content on how does the customer give, okay, and how do we start building up the site. And we saw a couple of options in terms of the header and footer. Okay, so in the header and footer, what we have to do is put and upload all the colors and save all the colors to make sure we are using the right format. And if they have any custom requirement, for example, like a Flash code that we need to enter, or any of the JavaScript code or HTML content that needs to be updated, the component that we need to use is the JavaScript here. So we put a code and make sure there are some changes done in the entire page, like in the global page. If you have any customizations to be done within the page itself, like one of the page, then we have a component which says custom plugin. Okay. So when we click on custom plugin, we have a blank space which is given by SAP as a component where we can insert any of the code. It might be HTML, CSS, Java code, whatever, like the Flash content, etc. So this custom plugin examples, also we will talk about it once we are in the end of the pages and discussion, so that it will be all clear for us, right? So now that, we are trying to build the page from the scratch, okay? So for that, what I have to do is go to the global and go to the styles to pick up the right header and footer content for my page, right? So let's try to do that. So before that, what we need to understand is how many brands are there. We now know that we have maybe 3 or 4 or 5 brands, whatever it is. And then we go to the headers, okay? And we go to the footers. So the same rule applies. Number of brands will have different colors. So we have to make sure all the colors are selected. In this brand, we have to select the colors. So likewise, we have to do it in all the brands, okay? Next, we go to the headers. And right now, we will just work on one language, one brand, which is US and default. And later, as a practice, we can use the things in multiple brands, okay? So in the default brand, we have 2 things. One is the standard header, okay, towards the left, logo towards the left and centered with. And the second one is the custom header. So if you are selecting the standard header, so you see the options change. And if you're selecting the custom header, it will ask you for a desktop layout versus a mobile layout. So this is completely up to the customer on how do they want to choose and how should their site look like. So the difference is very simple. So if I want to show an example again, so this particular customer, this one, they're using a custom header. How will I tell that? So the logo is there and then followed by the menu items, but they have used the language and view profile on the top. Okay. This customer is using a standard header because the logo and the menu is aligned, and they have the view profile. And if there is a language assigned, they will also have the language selector over here. So similarly, this customer is also using some of the custom header because they are not using the sign in over here. Okay. They have the pages and, created from here, and the sign in page is here versus in this particular place. So we can quickly see that it depends on different customer thoughts. So if it's a standard header, it will be like straightforward where we say that, logo towards your left hand side. and the logo will be uploaded over here. And the menu items, we're going to add it. Okay, so we say that add a menu. The first thing that I'm going to add is the homepage. I can rename it, okay, and give a title and say okay. So this is kind of a menu item that I'm going to add. So second is the category link or content or external page or something like that. So if I say TC join, I'm going to give a link to talent community where the candidates can just create their profile. Okay. And this is a menu item that I've created. So if I just save it to quickly preview on how it is looking like, so the preview can be done even before saving also. But for now, we will go to the, where is that? Styles and headers, the default brand. And this is done. And if I click on this option, okay, so here you see that we have added these two things, which is homepage and talent community. It is visible over here for me on the top. So although the size, font, color will come later, but just trying to add some options, right? So similarly, if I upload the logo and the logo will be visible here towards the left-hand side. So let me select an image, one of the logo. Okay. For this, I want to actually discuss with you guys, if you have certain content that you can get for the training, maybe, we are trying to create the TCS career site itself, or maybe if you think you have any idea about building a website with certain content, you can actually get it and then we can try to work on that particular content itself. Okay. Or you can do this way. Within one site, each one of you can create a brand for yourself, like with your names, and maybe you can add any content that is required. Because once I select the image and upload it over here into the server, it will be there forever. We cannot delete it. We can archive it. Okay. So we can archive it and, make it hidden. But end of the day, we are trying to use something for the settings. So it should be completely fine. Okay. So right now, what I'll do is just try to upload one of the logo as a sample. We're not doing any configuration here, but as a sample, maybe I will download SAP logo itself. Okay. So I need to have the specifications proper. Okay. SAP logo for career site. So I'll just pick up some random logo, but there is a clear specification for all the logos that is already given by SAP. Okay. We have to make sure we follow the same specifications for the logo. So right now I will just, try to upload this by downloading it. Yeah, save. Okay. I'm going to create a folder and put the SAP logo. Okay. It didn't come as an image. Let me save. Now it's coming as a web file. So I need to pick up some other logo. It can be anything. Maybe I will try this one. Yeah, this looks like it's a JPEG image. Okay. Now I'm trying to upload this logo that I've just downloaded. Okay. First of all, let's see how it is done step by step. So whenever I want to upload some image, I'm not uploading it directly onto the site, but I'm just trying to upload it into the backend of CSV. Okay. When I say backend, it's just the online server space. So hence SAP says, all the images that you're going to upload, if it might be a large image, some 2-column component, any other image that you're going to upload should not exceed more than 500 kilobyte. Okay, with the utmost resolution possible. So customers, what they do is they kind of come up with fancy and large images, which will be like in megabytes. So we have to inform them in advance to create the images only less than 500 kilobyte. Okay, so now I'm trying to upload this one. So when I try to upload, when I click on upload image, I am picking up the image which is available on the server, or I'm uploading an image from my physical PC, right? Where the drive, the physical computer. So I'm going to upload this. So if it is accepting, if the size is okay, it will give you a message. I mean, it will not give you any error message. If not, it will give you a message saying that this image cannot be uploaded because the size is more. So now I have just uploaded the logo that we downloaded from the web. I have not saved it in the page or in the header yet. Okay. So it says this is the logo dimensions, and the kilobyte is just 5.6, which is very small. And when I click on select, so this is where I am kind of selecting it. What should be the title of this logo? It is homepage, let's say. When I click on that, it should go to the homepage. So what is the URL? I will put the URL of this site so that if I'm in a different page, it will come back to the home page. So some customers, what they do is instead of having the home page of the career site, they want to take them to the home page of the corporate website. So let me show you that. So right now I have here, the logo is not clickable because they didn't want to put anything. Instead, I have a home page. In this customer, we have a home page button itself. So let's say I'm going somewhere, maybe to a country page, and I want to come back to the home page. So I have two options. I can go to home, and let me select UK. So it's easy for us. Okay. So we have gone to the Canada page. All right. And then I'm looking through something. And if I want to come back to the home page, I can click on the logo, which will take me to a certain page. So it took me to the corporate website of this customer, GFT.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So instead, some customers will have to have a requirement wherein they say that when I click on the logo, it should come back to the home page of the career site. Okay, so let's try here. When I click on this, it is still taking me here. If I go to Europe, Middle East, I scroll down, I see something, I also click here and I understand everything. Now I want to go to the home page. So click on it and it takes me to the home page. So likewise, we upload, if they want to take it to the home page, we put the URL like this. Okay. And it's kind of safe. So now we have done one step ahead. So it's time to review and see if the logo has been uploaded properly or not. Yeah. So for that, again, we can go to the site, refresh it, or directly go here. Okay, so this is come. But it's very big, right? Because it is having a different resolution. So now it is wrong, but I know that it's wrong. But it's just that, we have selected a logo, which is a bigger size. Okay. So like this, we start building the site. We have put the menu items and save. So this is the part of the standard header, okay, where we are not using any custom elements, nothing at all. So we are using the standard header by default. So now we will see what happens when we select the custom header. So we say custom and we say that it's centered or full width. If you want it centered, it will be like limited to the page. If it's full, it will be completely crossing the page, not like this, but full page. So it is centered now. Okay. And when I go to the desktop layout, it looks slightly different where I can add components. So for the first time, it will be like this. Let me delete all of them. Okay. So it will be like this for the first time. So you can start building on the components. You can keep adding it, but the only supported them were 1 hour: image, line, logo, menus, and language and text. That's all. So if you add a line, it comes up with a blank line, which is here on the top. Okay. So it will just come up here. And on top of it, if you want to have any of the components added, so when you click on this and say logo, so it will be appearing somewhere here. So if you want to move it to the extreme right, the logo, it will be like this. And you can say, you can put it to the logo, right? Okay, and then here you can add some components. So you see that menu, and here you wanted to have a sign-in language. Okay, and I will save it. So similarly, I want to add another one. So here I will say that menu, and in that menu, I can add whatever I want, but I will make this menu a little bigger to the entire page so that it is visible for me on what is the text that I'm using. Okay, so this is the layout. But have we gone ahead and put the content for this particular header? Not yet. We have just selected the components. Okay, so when I go here and click on headers, when I save it, it should not take me to the other page, but it's just taking it maybe because of the cookies. So when I click on the line, okay, it is asking me what should be the color of the line. So I will say black. Okay, I will say and what should be the height? Let me say it's 30 pixel and save. So now I have saved the line color. Okay. And I also saved some of the other components within the header, which is made as custom, right? So now let me preview it. Okay. I got a small line with a height of 30 pixel. And the color is like this because, we have it only here. Now, if I make this line, delete all of this and extend this line towards the extreme corner. So for this, I will have to delete all of the other elements, right? So click on it, save. It's asking that, we need to have the sign-in language. Let me just add it because that's mandatory. Save. All right. And preview. Okay. The line got entirely done. So the same way this customer has done it. So depending upon the height that we adjust, depending upon the color that they want, which also correlates to their branding. So they can have this line. Okay, we have just built a very, very basic thing, which is the custom header. Now we shall do one thing, add some more menu items and maybe add another row to give a logo, and then we will have sign-in language. Okay, this is already added. We are where we can develop it. And then depending upon the layout that the customer gives, if you remember last week, I showed a specific example of two different customers on how do they want the prospected site to be appearing. They can give it in PPT, Word or PDF. They will just give a random layout and they will say that this is how I wanted it, right? And based on that, we start kind of building the site. Okay. So if I add all these components and save, I can always preview it whenever I want. And the only advantage of having the custom header is the customer can have different alignment and, they can add different components. But although it's not like a major difference with the standard header and the custom, but some customers will like to have this sign-in language or, language on the top. But some customers are happy with this one. What they think is as soon as the site is accessed by any of the candidate, they want to make sure the highlighted thing is the login button. So if that is the case, they can, go ahead. Some are okay to have the normal ones. So it depends on customers to customers. Okay. But end of the day, for us, we can propose all the options. Okay. Now we talk about the mobile layout. So what is the difference between the standard desktop layout and the mobile layout is very straightforward. So in the mobile, if we don't want to, put the same header items because it might be a lot for the candidate to look at it, depending upon the screen size. So we can only have a few things, which is the home page and maybe the sign-in language. Okay. So rest all can be deleted or maybe ignored so that the mobile will be accessible very easily. Because end of the day, when they want to go ahead and, do a lot of other things, they will come to a laptop or a tab or something like that. But just to make sure the alignment is done well in the mobile so that it's looking good, we can propose this option. Okay, for the same header, we can control the styles, which means the colors and everything. So when we click on styles, we can have the background image, same like the way which we did. So some customers who are especially into retail business, okay, will have the site looking to be very fancy. So some of the examples are like Sephora.com, which is a beauty product company, Adidas, Nike, all these use recruiting marketing for their job postings. They use SuccessFactors for their company. Okay, so if that is the case, we can ask them and get into some details. So basically, all this conversation that we are doing it, you and me are having it right now. So will happen with the counterpart of the customer marketing team, or it might be the customer's in-house development team who take care of the site. So sometimes the customers would have outsourced this particular tasks to someone else, like a third party, or at times the customer would have internal people to take care of it. Okay. So if it is the third party, we have to ask them to provide us the brand book, which is nothing but like a branding guideline document that we saw a couple of days ago, right? So based on that, we can start building on it. So maybe for the session, if you have certain content that you can get in to create a site, we can use that same content over here and upload the content one by one, create pages. So once everything is done, then you can create your own brand by going into Career Site Builder with your name. And in that brand, you're going to create the pages and all the other components. So it will be like a practical activity for you. Okay. So this can be done maybe. So this is about the header. Similarly, we have the footer. So in the footer, we can have two options. One is the row footer, and the other is the column footer. Okay. So again, same rule applies. Depending upon the number of brands that we have, the footers count will increase. I mean, we have to replicate the same footers. So we don't have a copy paste option for the footers like we have for the pages. So we have to do it manually. Okay. The only reason that they have given it as separate is because of the language. So the menu item, the row menu item can look like, for example, homepage. So the homepage will look in their own language. Okay, so right now we are writing it as in English, but if they want it in Spanish or Japanese or something like that, they need to add it in their own language. Hence, we have to do it for each and every brand. So this is must and should. The same rule applies. We put a footer text. Usually what do we put it in the footer text is, if you have observed a couple of sites, in every site, they will have some copyrights reserved, something like that, right? And some customers would like to have that all this content is private and confidential. If you're working for any of the semi-government company or any of the public sector companies, so they would like to have this disclaimer given. So some customers will go ahead with putting a tagline saying that, if it's a food industry, food and beverage industry, they need to have a footer text. So that is just an option. And this can also be done as centered or full. So if you put it as full, then it will be appearing full width. If not, it's centered. So we can also have a logo kind of thing for footer, okay, which will appear towards the extreme left corner. So if that is the case, we can enable this so that the logo will be appearing. If I don't want the logo, just disable it here. Okay. So now we can also put footer text saying that at SAP, maybe texting, something like this, all rights reserved. Okay. And we will quickly save it and go to the menu items. So we shall put some menu items. We can pick up the menu items from SAP's website itself and try to put it here. Under the default brand row menu, we have added the homepage. Well and good. We will go as external. Okay. And then if I go to SAP.com, I will just pick up a couple of links over there, which is a part of a footer. Okay. Maybe partner ecosystem. I will select this one and say SAP Partner Forum. So this will be the text, the title of the footer, and this is the source. Do you want to open it in a new window, like a new tab, or it should take you directly here? So if I enable this, it's going to take me in a new tab. Okay, so text can be same, like the title. So I will put the same. I'll click on OK. So now we have another option where we can say that it's a content page. And if we have created any content pages over here, right now it is showing blank because we have no content pages. But once we add a content page over here with certain images and text and everything, so we'll be able to link that page also here. Similarly, we can add a talent community in the footer because whenever the candidate is going on the top, they should be able to register. At the same time, they should come down and they should be able to register. If that is the case, we can add this. And within the footer itself, instead of having a line row items, you can also have certain view all jobs option, okay, which will be like view all jobs. When you click on that, it will list down all the jobs. Okay, so let's save it and see how it looks like. So earlier we only had a header. Now we have also the footer. Okay, so we have the header with some languages and the standard font. Now we have the home page with certain links. If I click on view all jobs, it is taking me to the page. However, we don't have any jobs, right? So similarly, when I click on SAP Partner Forum, we said that it is taking to the home page. Okay, I think I have used the wrong verbiage for this. So I have clicked on SAP Partner. And what did the menu item say? Let us just verify it. Styles, footer, default brand, SAP Partner Forum. And yeah, I have put this one. I didn't copy properly. Okay, so let me copy this one and put it here. Okay, save. Okay, if I now click on Partner Forum, it's still not refreshed. Okay, styles, footer, and default. Yeah, okay, let's verify it once again. Footers, default brand. And check the link. Yeah, should take me here. So this can act because of the cookies saved on the system and the browser. Okay, so that's totally normal. But usually when we save it here, it is instant. So we don't have to worry about, how much time does it take. So it will be here. And when I click on the preview, it's still taking me there, but maybe we'll wait for some time. Okay, so this is how we can create a row menu. And if the customer wants it like to be a column, for example, this way, this is a huge footer with an image and with some content over here. And they also have certain column footers instead of the row footer. So some customers, whoever has less menu items, they will go with the row footer. And the customers who have more menu items to be added, they will prefer the column footer. So the configuration is same. You kind of click on add and keep adding the links. If it is a list, we kind of add a list and then select the title. And within this particular list, what do you want to have? Is it a content page, external page, or a talent community, top jobs, etc.? Okay. So this is how we are going to create the header and the footer. So, and then every time we kind of, put it there, like going and we go and see the preview out of it. So social links, last time when we were testing it, like we were able to add this links. Hence, you are able to see that there are 2 links which are added already here, Facebook and YouTube. So we don't have the links although, but Facebook links we have just said about us. So if I add all of them, Instagram, Twitter, Zing, and maybe LinkedIn, everything, and click on save. Before I click on save, I also need to put the URLs. So similar to what SAP has done here. Okay, if they want to go with the Facebook page of SAP, I can say and go here and save it under the Facebook page. So who is supposed to give the links? It's obvious the customer. And then if the customer doesn't have, usually in all of the corporate websites, the customer will have it. So when I click on this, if it is enabled, it will take me to SAP's page. Okay, it's directly taking me to the SAP's page. So this is straightforward. We don't have to do any much configuration, but all the logos are getting pulled from the actual provider itself, like the Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. So all of this is directly coming here. So there are some customers who will say that, can you adjust my footer, links from the right-hand side to the left-hand side? So is that possible in the standard? No, because whenever you add the social links, based on the best practices, SAP has said that, it should be always towards the right-hand side corner. If the customer was in specific apps to the left, we have an option. How do we do that? I'll quickly show you. So we can go to the CSV itself. And now, as we are dealing with the global design, under global, we have a JavaScript code, right? Which is a custom code which we can enter. So this is where you're going to put in the footer saying that, okay, this is the alignment to be done towards the left. And you can also get into some details about the code itself. Now, if I just give you an example, if I do page source and search for LinkedIn, so it is here. The code for the LinkedIn is here. So it says that social links, it should be like this. And, the component is normal. This is the color code. The index is 0 and the link is here. Okay, so here it says linkedin.com SAP. And similarly, we have some other, code which is also given in terms of width is 16 pixel, height is 16 pixel, and it should have some, differentiation between it. So this is how we typically read a code, right? So the similar code has to be provided to us by the customer, and we insert it here and preview it. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not work properly, but the user designing team, for example, the UI UX people, who have extensive experience in designing the web pages, will be able to understand what are we referring to. So in terms of what is supported, Java CSS script is supported, HTML tags are supported, and a couple of other CSS scripts which are built specifically for web designing tools are also supported. Okay, so we should not propose this option in the beginning itself to the customer. We should propose only if they ask. Okay, because we have a lot of examples in which almost all the websites have their social icons towards the right-hand side, like this customer, and even this, okay, in the bottom, and even this in the bottom. Okay, so if they are very adamant about having the same, then we can propose a custom solution like a JavaScript code. And who will take the ownership? The customer should take the ownership of this particular code. We can upload it here, save it, because anyways, once we hand over the system, they're going to have it for their reference. But it's just our responsibility to inform them to make sure we are aligned. Okay, so this is done. Now next comes to the option of the other option in footer itself. So what else can be done in the footer? Similarly, if we have different brands, like a different subsite, we're going to have multiple footers and we update it here. And some customers are also asking some doubts in terms of what about the other links which are not here? Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I want to insert in the similar way. Can you bring a logo? Can you upload it? Again, the answer will be no, because the standard options given by SAP are only this many. Earlier, Zing and Instagram was not there. Later, they added it. Okay, so likewise, if any universal update is coming from SAP, then we can inform the customer about it. Okay, so this is the row footer, column footer, and the overall details about the footer itself per brand. If you have multiple languages, multiple brands, then the effort will be multiplied accordingly. Okay, so is everything okay here with respect to footer? Although it's not complex, but when you start working on it, the alignment will take time. That's all, and then we also need to understand what is the best way of adjusting it. Do we need to have a space between or, anything of that matter? But otherwise, the functionality wise, it's very straightforward. Okay. So now can we take a couple of minutes and see if we have the access available for you? Like one of you can log in and see this. And we will also do this activity by creating a job requisition. If you're okay with that, create it in the instance that we have and post that job so that that job will come and land here. Okay, in our recruiting marketing site that we are talking about.
So this is a practice server for now, right, for us?
Yeah, so this is a practice server. So this has both recruitment and you should also get access with recruiting marketing with the career site builder. Okay, so to start with, you can go to the option of recruiting. Yes. Okay, I think right now, your user is not added as a recruiter. So maybe I will give you a proxy user. Okay, if you click on the right-hand side username on top of it, like the name, yes, proxy, and say Tessa, Tessa. This is the user. And in this, you should be able to see some job requisitions.
So this is what, okay.
Yeah, so this is the recruitment part. We will go to the RMK part.
This you have already mapped is what for this Tessa, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So this is the user, test user that you can create, use for your creation of the job requisitions. Step number one. Okay, because you cannot directly go to the recruiting site. So you can create a job requisition and post it. We will come to that step by step, but just giving you some hint about it. Okay, this should be fine, and everyone can follow the same user. And the second part, which we will check in, if you go in the top and search for actions of people, right? Yeah, there. Can you type in career site builder?
Yeah, we have access for that.
Okay, perfect. Because I had added your users over there. So just wanted to make sure you have that permissions. Yeah, the second one.
Yes. Then we'll not get recruiter permission?
Yeah, we can get that also. I will show you. It's a matter of adding your user there. So we can add it in the role and the group. That is not an issue. Yeah, for the first time, because of the cookies, it will take time. Otherwise, it will be fine. Yes. So I think the access is sorted out now. With respect to this user, at least, right? So you can always go to Tessa, or maybe we can also do this way. You all can be added into the recruiting group, and then we can work on it. So if you go to global styles, yeah, right now you're acting as Tessa, right? But let's see that you will have your own user to access it.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
So when you go to the appearance, and click on global, it will take a couple of seconds for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And this is where you can go ahead and change the font if you want. You can maybe create it, like upload a custom font, change the font, and but this is a global setting, so it will appear for everyone, like all of
This can be changed, right? I mean, some things is here like cannot be changed, but the font and all, it can change, right?
Yeah, it can change. I mean, this is completely created for your own purpose, like for practicing. So you can keep changing whatever you want, and you can
This
even upload
global
a
setting, the
custom font
font and everything we have putting for homepage, sub pages.
for all the pages. Yeah, for all the pages.
Okay.
Basically, this is the backend, where you have to upload the font over here. But this font can be used in all the pages, any page for that matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's assume that, within one font itself, there are 3 or 4 variants. One is bold, one is italic, and one is plain.
Right.
So you're going to upload it here. Then use that font in the corresponding page.
Load means how do we do that? Open custom font.
Yeah, I think you missed that session. So this was covered. But we can do
Okay.
that.
I'll check out. No worries. Yeah.
No, just to
So
give you an
once
idea.
this has been updated, right? So next, where should I see whether it is properly working? I mean, it's updated on another page.
Yeah. So now here, for every page, you will have a preview button next to the save. Okay. You have an arrow mark, and next to that. Yeah. So this is a preview button. So any change that you make, you can simply click on preview. It will take you to this page. And if you add a home page with certain images, maybe if you want to try now, we can just upload one image on the home page. Okay. So that it will appear. So you can go to the pages towards your left-hand side. Yeah. Click on home. Yes. And expand the language. Click on that language, and
Yours is default.
the default brand. Yeah. You can click on the default home. So this is where you got it. And you can add a component over here. And
There is nothing but
a building block, like an image or, the website. So you can add a large image over here. Maybe Google Job Map is okay. Okay, large image. Okay. And once you add, when you click on that large image, it will take you to the place where you can add content to this image. Okay. You can click on select. And if you have any image in your PC that can be used for the testing purposes, you go ahead. Otherwise, it's okay. You can download one image and add it.
download one image.
Yeah.
Maybe something like this. Yeah. And where's
Maybe
this upload?
Yeah. So
Upload
in order to upload, you need to click on that and get into that component. Yeah. Click on that. The space. Yes. And when you click on select image, you will have upload image over here on the top. Okay. Now it will take you to the PC and you can upload it.
No, I don't have anything here, but I can download one.
Yeah, we can download one. Maybe you can search for the large image itself as an option and then download it. Yeah, so my own files has exceeded.
It has looks like just snapshot it, but still that is also max size is what it is saying.
Yeah. And you can also see some more image components I will show you. If you go to the download folders where you have saved the image.
Here itself? Okay.
In your PC, in your laptop. No, not here. When you go to the downloads folder, open the downloads folder. Yeah. Maybe from here itself, right click on the image and go to this one, like properties.
Yeah. Open.
The last. No, properties. If you go to properties, I want to show you something like the resolution and everything that of this image. Yeah.
You want me to reduce it?
Yeah. So right now it's 251. We need to maybe reduce it for 500. And if you click on details, okay, on the top, here it will show you the pixels. So it's right now it's 760 into 888. So for the large image, the recommended size will be like 1200 into 500 or 600. Just give you an idea, like if the customer says.
But it is lesser, so it should take, right? No, it won't take.
It should take. The size is more. Here the dimension is less, but the size of the image is more. It's more than 500 kilobyte.
So directly we can't reduce this actually. We can.
Yeah, we cannot do that. So for that, we need to use some tools.
The tools is right.
Yeah. So the rest is you can use Adobe if you have the licensed version. If we are using any web tools, then there is a website called I Love PDF. Okay, where we can upload it and compress it.
I think from this I can do that, but this snip tool doesn't give. But snip tool generally saves in a very Small format.
Yeah,
somewhere.
that small format. Yeah, correct. Let's try.
But don't know, it's the small also. Here it is. Oh, still it is a big size.
Yeah, likewise, I mean, you can maybe discuss
Well,
internally,
upload.
get some content,
Yeah.
and upload it. Yeah.
I understand. The main thing is what. That's okay. So for now, SAP image is there. This is good. So we can just upload it, understood here. Then image modified and modified what the screen is.
Yeah. So here
Okay,
we
so
can
to-
just component wise. And do you want to vertically scale it? Okay, all of this. And you
So
can also-
basically, companies generally do these images with their own advertising teams, their marketing teams, right?
Correct.
Brand marketing teams, and probably based on our required file, they may provide to us. So we just upload it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have to upload it. And we also need to do some adjustment in terms of space and kind of linkage. If they want to treat the image as a link, sometimes we need to make sure that links are done. Okay, accordingly, we'll do this in the homepage.
But it's just a self-explanatory kind of stuff, right, Kiran?
Yes,
Just,
exactly.
I mean, just do some math, trial and error basis, and just upload it, right? Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
So
true.
this image generally on a home page, any page basically, right?
Yeah, the
no,
homepage. Yes.
Okay.
So you can add this kind of components in any page that you want. Okay, so we have not gone ahead and seen the category and landing pages, but this is how it works.
Understood.
Basics is this one. Yeah. Okay. Now let's say that you have built a homepage for English. Okay, with maybe 10 components. Okay, then now the customer wanted to change it for another language. So instead of redoing the entire thing, you can have the same specifications, right? Because for each image or each component, you have its own styles and color codes and everything. Okay, so instead of doing it 10 different times, you can also duplicate the page, kind of, save time, where you can retain the components, but you're just changing the language or some of the text. So like that, you have to get a draft from the customer to see what are the
So here, which one we are working right now on a content page?
No, the one which we are working is default, but you can pick up RMK. Okay, or we can also create it with your own names so that it will be easy for us to identify.
Creating a new one is just add something like that here, or just do something right click here?
Yeah,
No.
so let me show you one thing. Like here, we have already created a brand. Okay, so for having the line item here, you need to go back. I'll show you that one also. So go back to the arrow. And under tools, we have brand management.
Okay.
Yeah, here's where you're going to create one brand for yourself.
Nothing is there for now. It's coming. Okay.
It will take time. Yeah. So you can add here, put your initials so that that becomes your brand. SG maybe, just like that with your initials so that you know that it's yours. However you feel.
Yeah.
That's not.
You are
identifier, we don't have to put now. We'll put it later. Okay, if we need to have anything, the default URL will be uploaded here. Okay, that's not an issue. Microsite, we discussed this in one of the session. So basically, how should the recruitment system identify on which particular brand side it should go, right? If you have maybe 4 or 5 brands, so in which place does the job should go and sit is what it is trying to ask. So for that, we need to go to the recruitment system, and we have a page where it says manage recruiting sites. From there, we need to copy some ID and put it here. So this will also be done.
So the branch means in the one company code, whatever is there. For example, Tata has TCS IT and Tata T is another brand. Tata Motors is another brand. Something like that you are saying?
Yes, exactly. Right. So each company
we
is
a
entity.
Okay.
So a Tata Group is one master entity, which is a corporate, okay, under which we might have 10 different group companies, right? So if the Tata decides that, the job should be categorized in their own pages, one way. Second, if they decide that, every sub-brand or company should have its own image specifications, different colors. So then you're going to create the brand. Otherwise, you will not even touch the brand. If it's like one global site with the same color, you're not going to create any brand, but you will just leave it as the default one. So this comes into picture when you have big customers where they want to kind of multiply.
For example, one company has a multiple, so it's one brand, right? I mean, when I'm talking about Tata companies, it's multiple example, right? But when I'm talking about TCS, it's one company code. But under TCS, probably I'll have some groups like based on a function, right? Probably I would say the manufacturing team will have one thing. I mean, verticals, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So the CPG will have something, and telecom will have some other things. In that way, also we can create a brand. I mean,
Yes.
we can create under one brand multiple components, right?
Correct. So your usage should be defined from the beginning, so that do they want to categorize based on the specific legal entity, or do they want to generalize it? Okay, because there will be both the scenarios. Now in TCS, like you said, you have different companies, right? So in different entities, you might have the same manufacturing jobs, sales jobs, and HR jobs, which will be applicable for any of the company. If that is the case, you don't create brands based on that company. You create it based on the department itself. Okay, so there are like multiple discussions that we need to have to identify what kind of brands that you need to create. Is it based on the company, or based on the language, or even based on the language location? So TCS is present in multiple countries. So the jobs that are present in India are different and the US is different. So if they want to categorize that way, then that can also be done. So this is a topic which we will usually discuss during the requirement gathering, and even before that during the scoping, because we need to understand the effort, right? How much effort it is taken. So hence we do all these discussions and identify the number of brands based on the language or the location, etc.
So this I don't need to keep it right now, right? So to create, I think this is mandatory, right? To create a new brand.
You can do one thing, the URL, right? So you can actually copy paste the URL, the same. Yeah. So you can keep the same. Okay. Now, not here, in the microsite, in the URL brand identifier. Don't close it, Sagar, 1 second. So here, when you put the identifier, so this is where you can say / and put your sub company name, for example. Okay. So something like that. So if you put not here in the brand identifier itself, here. Okay, so if you say that, okay, now right now it's saying that
it's saying it's not valid.
Yeah, you can say that jobs, like this is usually used for sub companies.
It's not taking anything.
Okay, the space is done, right? So you do one thing, just remove it and say that it's manufacturing jobs, something like that. Yeah, MFP jobs. And we shall put the site ID later, microsite ID, because that should be copied.
Still, even though this URL is not valid, it will still take up. System doesn't work.
It will not work. Yeah.
Okay. Just for a testing purpose, we can. Okay. I've added here.
Yeah, and you have
Microsoft ID.
Active.
Okay. Then I'll go here and I'll go again.
Yeah, you saved it, right, Sagar?
Yeah, I saved it.
Okay.
Default home.
So your brand still is not showing up.
Okay, it's not showing up there, right?
Yeah, not.
I saved it.
Yeah, it's saved, right? Okay. So it will just take. Okay, it's saying status. What is it? Plus. Can you click on that plus once?
Yeah, status means nothing is coming. Status means maybe pending pending addition, maybe, right?
Okay. Yeah. Because usually when you save it, it should reflect there. Even for me, it's not showing. Maybe it will take like a minute or so.
Update now, and maybe this is the pending one.
Rules management. Yeah, I think it's not saved, Sarah. So can you just click on save once again on the top in the brand management?
Probably I didn't click that.
Maybe, that's why.
I was clicking on the pop-up box one. Yeah, now it is saved.
Okay. Now it is saved.
So it should show up here, right?
So it requires a refresh basically. So maybe you refresh or close it and open it, something like that. So it will work. Yeah, it came up. MFG jobs. That is the identifier that you gave.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you can you all can create one of them and then work on your own brand so that you can see the output on how it is working.
So now saved it. No, I should be creating something.
Creating some content within this page. Okay, this is for homepage. Okay, before you create a
okay, so from here only I can do that, right? By adding component or something.
Yeah. Yes. So similarly, now as you have MFG jobs in the homepage, so the same brand will be visible in all the other pages also, like a landing page, category page, etc.
The save draft, right?
Yes, save draft, or you can also publish it, because whenever you are saving draft, it will be in the draft mode. Okay, and you can preview it. If you publish it, it will completely be available in the site.
That's good.
Yeah. So
basically, this is the page designing kind of stuff what we were trying to do it here, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, and I can keep add.
Okay, so like this, we can probably come up with some use case where you have a couple of images and everything. Okay, we will start building a homepage with each individual brand. Okay, and then do the posting by going into recruitment. to see if the posting is appearing or not. Okay. And we also talked about the job that needs to be running in the provisioning to make sure the jobs are posted. Okay. So likewise, we will be able to see how the job is posted and what are the issues if the job posting is not working, etc.
Okay, so here I'm searching a career site builder, right?
Career site builder, yes. So you need to go as a Tessa because right now I think your user doesn't have it, but we will see once.
Yeah, I like this practice sessions, right? So that really making more interest for me. I don't know about others, but
no, even I personally like practicing with rather than theory because it gets bored after some time.
It's not from here we can't practice it, right? From the main screen only we can practice. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Because now that you have entered into a jobs2web.com thing, you have access. So which means it's working with your user.
Okay, so from somewhere here I can duplicate the sheet.
Yeah, if you go to Admin Center, it will take you back to that screen, the instance.
Here I can change to the Tessie, right?
Tessa, Tessa. So this is only for creating the job requisition. Okay, but for RMK CSB access, you already have with your own user. So which is updated. Okay, for that to work also, there is a scenario which we can maybe talk later because some users will complain saying that I have given necessary permission, but it's not working. That might be because the permissions are missing in the system, which we will also see sometime.
No, I should be going pages, right?
Pages. Yeah.
Again, this is the one which we have created. So I'll keep on exploring the options like whatever I have, something like that, right?
Yeah. You can you can do whatever you want in this site because it's not live and it's not a customer. So
it's just a kind of a designing part, like it is sketching, right? I mean, it's a kind of a sketching, but we wanted to know more about, we should be knowing as a consultant more about the plugins actually, right? Designing part is okay. We can, if I learn one thing, then probably it's a kind of a exploring stuff, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like exploring stuff. And also we need to guide the customer to have the right components placed, one part of the story. And second one is the integration between recruitment and marketing. What are the components that are required? And third part is the procurement of the site and updating the site in the production system. Because there is a small process in which we need to involve the customer IT and we need to know about the SSL certificate and some other stuff, how to generate a CSR. Some of the technical terms, which is also available here. And once that is done, the final part is the analytics part, the advanced analytics. So these are the 4 main categories into RMK.